You know, one thing I love about season 1 is obviously the chemistry of all the kids. Now, how is Will's relationship now that we're in season 2 with his fellow actors? Well, the characters.
Yeah, the characters, I was going to say. What's a really kind of charming aspect of season 2 is Mike is really, really protective of Will. You got a glimmer of that in season 1, but what we realize now that Will's back at school, back enrolled, is that even though they're peers, Mike Wheeler is protective of Will Byers. He's a little smaller. There's something innocent and, of course, damaged about Will. And Finn plays this beautiful kind of big brother protectiveness towards Will that is really lovely and very much a part of season 2.
I know we pick up a year later in the storyline. What are some of the interactions and characters that what are the character interactions that may have changed with that year time passing?
I mean, everybody's been affected by what's happened, and a lot of it, though, they all went through this very traumatic experience, and they've kind of all swept it under the rug a little bit. As I think it's sort of human nature, you want to try to pretend it's not there, but it is very much there, all these issues and scars. Will, nobody treats him the way they did before. His parents don't treat him the same way. His friends don't treat him the same way. His schoolmates don't treat him the same way. So you start to see those issues kind of bubble up to the surface, starting with episode 1, sorry.
Tell me a little rundown about your character.
He's a bit of an antagonist, to be honest. The reference from these boys over here, the Duffer Brothers, was kind of like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, somebody with an unpredictable nature, somebody who sort of unnerves the audience. A bit of spice placed in this amazing recipe that has been so tasty and so successful. He blows through town. He comes from out of town from California. He ruffles a few feathers, and I think that sort of sums it up without giving too much away.
There's a lot of new characters this season. Can you tell me a little bit about your interactions with some of those characters?
Yeah, a little bit. It's anytime you bring a new character into such a small group of people, into a small town like Hawkins, it kind of shakes things up. I do interact with all of them at some point. I don't know how much I can say about it, but they are all. I guess what I can say is they all play a really vital role in what goes down.
One of the characters that just completely blew up last year was Barb.
Right.
Now, I'm hearing a lot about Bob. Now,
Bob, yes.
Shawn Astin's character.
Yes.
So could we talk a little bit about him, and do you think that the fans are going to be is going to be as a beloved character as Barb is?
It's hard to know. I mean, we weren't expecting the Barb phenomenon, but I'll say he has more lines than Barb did. I'll say that much, and I think that, and Shawn Astin, he's one of those guys that he wasn't initially how we were envisioning the role, but once he came on board and we started to see what he was doing with this character, he just changed the entire trajectory, really, of some of the plot in the show, and certainly of that character. And so, I don't know, he's just an incredibly likable guy in real life, and then also hopefully in the show. I don't know, I think I love Bob. I think other people will too.
But Barb may have been lightning at a bottle. I don't know. If we're not with any character where we let's try to recreate a new Barb. I mean, it's a fruitless exercise.
You brought up a great point. Barb was a huge fan favorite of last year. Is there a Barb-esque characters that fans are going to attach to this?
It's Shawn Astin.
Really?
Yeah. Shawn Astin as Bob is going to be, I'm saying it, he's kind of going to be the Barb of season 2. His part is substantially bigger. He's in a lot of episodes. He is magnificent. And one thing the Duffers do really well is when they see what an actor is capable of, they write to that. They don't make the actor play what's on the page. They often change what's on the page to exploit everything that's unique about that actor. They did it with Steve Harrington last season and this season again, and they did it big time with Shawn Astin, who, as Bob, I think is going to be a Barb-level fan favorite.
Something I always heard about last season was that this was going to be an anthology, and that Stranger Things season 1 and season 2 were going to be completely different. Was that true? Was there any truth to that, or was it always going to follow the same?
There's some truth to that, in that was when we were pitching it.
Okay.
that was true because we looked at Stephen King's we liked that time jump that they made, so we had kind of pitched that as a way, and then Netflix really was interested in it as a series because rightfully so. They were like, I think people are going to fall in love with these kids and these characters, and they want to, we're going to invest so much time with them. We're going to want to continue our journey with them, and they were right. And so it was always built. Once we started building the writers' room and working on the show, we started to develop it and plan for a multiple season arc.
What is your favorite episode title for season 2 and why?
I'm trying to remember them because a couple of them might be changing, but
really?
I remember I directed the episode that's titled The Pollywog.
Okay.
And I didn't even know that word when the brothers pitched it as one of our chapter headings, but having now directed it, it is in reference to something that I believe is going to be a fan favorite aspect of season 2. Do you know what a pollywog is?
No, but we have a park in where I live called Pollywog Park, and I still don't know.
No connection. So no connection. But the pollywog, it's just this weird word, and I had to look up what it is. It's kind of like a tadpole, and I like that it kind of makes us lean in to wondering what that could be about. And the answer, when you see it, is very satisfying.